Get set. Answer the following questions to your teacher. What is the model of the Earth called? How is it important in the study of the Earth? Globe. Globe is the visual representation of the physical characteristics of the Earth. Long before there were planetariums or other advanced technologies available for studying the sky, people devised ways of depicting the sun, moon, planets, and stars in relation to the Earth. Globes helped to put objects into perspective and served as scientific instruments. The concept behind it is that the globe is a sphere representing the true image of the Earth. It is mounted in a harness that allows it to rotate and be tilted. North Pole, South Pole, and axis. The harness on which the globe is mounted is called the axis of the globe. This axis represents the imaginary line on which the Earth rotates. The points where the axis is fixed to the stand are its poles, on which it can be rotated. The pole at the top is called the North Pole, and one at its bottom is called the South Pole. Latitudes and longitudes. The entire surface of the globe is marked by a crisscross of horizontal and vertical lines, forming a grid. The horizontal lines are called the latitudes or parallels, and the vertical lines are called the longitudes and meridians. Chirpy says, the Greek astronomer Ptolemy is supposed to have invented the system of latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes or parallels. Latitudes are horizontal lines drawn on the globe or map that go around the Earth and run parallel to each other and therefore referred as parallels. The latitude at biggest circumference of the Earth is called the equator and is measured as 0 degrees. There are 90 degrees of latitudes to the north of the equator, which is called the northern hemisphere, and 90 degrees of latitudes to the south of the equator, which is called the southern hemisphere. There are 181 degrees of latitudes in all. There are 90 degrees in north, 90 degrees in south, and there is the 0 degrees latitude, which is the equator. The North Pole is the northernmost point on the Earth. It is located in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. The latitude of the North Pole is 90 degrees N. The South Pole is the southernmost point on the surface of the Earth. It is situated on the continent of Antarctica. The latitude of the South Pole is 90 degrees S. The North Pole and the South Pole lie diametrically opposite to each other. The Tropic of Cancer is a line of latitude circling the Earth at 23.5 degrees N, or north of the equator. The Tropic of Cancer is a line of latitude circling the Earth at 23.5 degrees S, or south of the equator. The Arctic Circle is a line of latitude circling the Earth at 66.5 degrees N, or north of the equator. The Antarctic Circle is a line of latitude circling the Earth at 66.5 degrees S, or south of the equator. Heat zones of the Earth. The parallels of latitude divide the Earth into 3 heat zones on the basis of the amount of heat received from the sun. The sun rays do not fall vertically on all places on the surface of the Earth at a time. The regions near the equator are the hottest on the Earth's surface as they get more direct waves of the sun, while the regions away from the equator do get heat to the same extent as the temperature gradually decreases because the rays of the sun are slanting here. The 3 heat zones are the tropical or torrid zone, the temperate zone, the frigid zone. Think a while. Name the countries which are situated near the equator. Longitudes or meridians. Longitudes are vertical lines drawn on the globe or map. They form semicircles that run from the North Pole to the South Pole and are also called meridians. The longitude running through the old Royal Observatory at Greenwich near London is marked as 0 degrees. It is called the prime meridian. There are 180 degrees of longitudes to the east of the prime meridian, called the Eastern Hemisphere, and 180 degrees of longitudes to the west of the prime meridian, called the Western Hemisphere. There are 360 degrees of longitudes in all. There are 180 degrees in east, 180 degrees in west, and there is the 0 degrees longitude, which is prime meridian, minus 1 degrees longitude, because the 180 degree E and 180 degree W is the same longitude. The 180 degrees E and 180 degrees W longitudes meet and form a single line in the Pacific Ocean, which is on the opposite side of the prime meridian and is called the International Dateline. Longitudes and time. Time is not same at all places in the world. It differs in different places of the world. When we have 11 a.m. in our city, it is not 11 a.m. in New York, Sydney, London, or so on. Longitudes help us to calculate the time of a place. Time zones of the world. The central longitude named prime meridian is used to define the universal time, and it is the meridian or longitude from which all other time zones are calculated. The prime meridian is also known as the Greenwich meridian or the International meridian. Chirpy says, there are 360 degrees of longitudes and the Earth takes 4 minutes to rotate 1 degrees longitude. Thus, the time difference between two longitudes is 4 minutes. Geographic grid. The lines of latitude and longitude intersect one another at right angles, that is 90 degrees, and form a geographic grid. This grid helps us to locate a place anywhere on the Earth, but we must know its latitude and longitude because the point at which these two lines intersect each other will be the location of that place. For example, the latitude of Mumbai is 19 degrees N and its longitude is 73 degrees E. The location of Mumbai will be at the point where the parallel of 19 degrees N and 73 degrees E intersect each other. Think a while. How is geographic grid useful? Quick review. A globe is the visual representation of the physical characteristics of the Earth. The harness on which the globe is mounted is called the axis of the globe. The horizontal lines are called the latitudes or parallels. The vertical lines are called the longitudes or meridians. The latitude at biggest circumference of the Earth is called the equator. The North Pole is the northernmost, while the South Pole is the southernmost point on the Earth. The longitude running through the Old Royal Observatory at Greenwich near London is marked as 0 degrees. It is called the prime meridian.